256 CE, a dusty fortress city sits on the banks of the Euphrates. The Roman garrison inside believes they're ready, trained, armored, experienced. But what they're about to face is not a conventional siege. No battering rams, no catapults, no warning, just a tunnel. And then death, without a single blade being drawn. This is the forgotten story of Dura-Europos, where archaeology uncovered one of the world's first, most chilling examples of chemical warfare. Dura-Europos was a crossroads city, once Hellenistic, then Parthian, now Roman. It stood as a formidable stronghold between two of the ancient world's superpowers, the Roman Empire and the Sasanian Persian Empire. With its thick stone walls and the genius of Roman engineering, it seemed impenetrable. But in 256 CE, the Sasanian Persians, led by their ambitious king, Shapur I, laid siege. They wanted the city back, and they weren't going to fight fair. Instead of launching a massive head-on assault against the walls, the Persians turned to something much more sinister, something that took place underground. Siege mining, a brutal and terrifying ancient tactic. The idea was simple yet devastating. Dig tunnels under the enemy's walls, set fires to burn the wooden supports, and then let the tunnels collapse, bringing the massive stone fortifications crashing down with them. The Romans, seasoned masters of siegecraft themselves, knew this trick well. As soon as they detected the Persian digging, they started their own countermining operations, digging tunnels of their own to intercept the Persian sappers underground, to fight them in the dark, cramped earth. It was a desperate subterranean battle, but one of these tunnels was about to become a tomb, fast forward over 1,600 years. In the 1930s, a team of archaeologists excavating the ruins of Dura-Europos uncovered something truly strange, a collapsed mineshaft, sealed since ancient times. Inside, they found the remains of at least 19 Roman soldiers, their bodies piled up in a tight, defensive formation, as if they were bracing for an attack that came from the darkness. Lying nearby was the body of a single Persian soldier. At first, the scene looked like a fierce underground skirmish. It was assumed the Romans had simply been overwhelmed and defeated in close-quarters combat. But something didn't add up. The archaeologists examined the bones, looking for the telltale signs of battle, sword wounds, spear thrusts, crush injuries from the collapse. There were none. Just death. Then they noticed something else. The lone Persian soldier was found clutching a strange collection of items: bitumen, which is like a natural tar, and sulfur crystals. For decades, the true meaning of this discovery remained a mystery. Then, in the early 2000s, archaeologist Dr. Simon James reanalyzed all the evidence from that dark tunnel. His conclusion was stunning and horrifying. The Persians hadn't just been digging, they had prepared a deliberate, sophisticated chemical attack. He proposed that when the Romans broke through into the Persian tunnel, the Persians were waiting. They ignited the bitumen and sulfur crystals using a brazier or bellows, creating a thick, billowing cloud of sulfur dioxide, a choking, toxic gas. The Roman soldiers, trapped in a narrow, airless space with no way to escape, would have been overwhelmed in seconds. The lone Persian soldier, he was likely the one who lit the fire, a brave saboteur who was either caught in the lethal blowback of his own weapon or was overcome before he could retreat. This wasn't just a clever tactical victory. It was one of the earliest and most brutally effective uses of chemical warfare ever discovered. We often think of chemical weapons as a modern horror, born in the trenches of World War I. But the silent dead of Dura-Europos remind us that ancient warfare could be just as brutal and just as scientifically innovative in its cruelty. This wasn't an accident. The knowledge to weaponize chemicals like this required a sophisticated understanding of combustion, of how smoke and gas would behave in a confined tunnel, and above all, a chilling grasp of psychological warfare. The terror of an invisible, silent killer would have been immense. It makes you wonder, how much more ancient knowledge have we lost to time? And just how far were these civilizations willing to go to achieve victory? Today, Dura-Europos lies in ruins, a ghost city fading into the desert wind. But buried within its collapsed tunnels, its bones and its ashes, there lies a stark warning. Even in the ancient world, warfare wasn't just about swords and shields. Sometimes the most terrifying weapon was smoke, sulfur, and silence. Thanks for joining us on this dive into forgotten history. If you want to uncover more of the dark innovations and untold stories of the past, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We'll see you on the next one.